what do we have here? We got the Bear Ops Bali song. When I was a kid, we called them butterfly knives. And why, why were they called butterfly knives? I don't know. I thought it was because they flip around pretty like a butterfly. Now, I don't even know if that's it. I need to look that up and see. And then later, I saw some that had a little butterfly symbol on it. And I think those were Benchmades. Now, I know Benchmade, didn't invent it or anything, but man, they were just the coolest knives to have as a kid.
Have a little talk, friend. What? Yeah! Where'd you get that?
Now, they didn't have a clip. Mine never had a clip. Any of the cheapo ones that I had from the Army surplus store, or from the where else the hell did we get them? Little places in the mall with really crappy knives. Man, they were so much fun though, with your nunchucks. If you didn't have a Bally song or a butterfly knife and some nunchucks, what else did we have? Thinking we were cool. Chinese stars, yes, Chinese throwing stars. Man, I have a really nice one. I should have showed that one. Damn it. I'm here at Vogel State Park. Such a great place. I'll put a little picture up of how cool it looks. If you visit North Georgia and you like camping and hiking and trails and all that stuff, you want to go to Vogel State Park. It's so cool, so nice. As a kid, I collected Matchbox cars. That was my thing. I love Matchbox cars. I had boxes like this full of Matchbox cars. A little Matchbox car in each place. All my coolest ones. Eventually, let's see, I think Legos came next. I always collected toy guns. That was a thing. Not so much toy knives, but as soon as I was old enough, I was buying the butterfly knife. I was buying the crappy military looking knife, stuff like that. I was always kind of like a military fanboy, so I always liked that kind of stuff. I remember having one really cheap survival knife. It had like a plastic, you know what, I bet I can find a picture of it. It's that survival knife. It has the big plastic compass on the end, and I think I only used it 2 or 3 times before the compass cracked, and then it was leaking fluid out of the back. And then after that, I think the blade came loose in the handle, so the blade was like moving around. It was the best. Then more recently, like only 30 years ago, I started getting into, a little bit better knives, like cold steel. So, I don't have a cold steel here, sadly. I just ordered one that's the one I had, like my first cool knife. I had gone to a gun show, so obviously I was 18 at least, maybe 18, 19, something like that, checking out all the cool guns, and there was a knife there. And it was a cold steel Spartan. Let's see. We'll have something stand in for the Spartan here. Okay, we'll stand in with this Kaiser Z82. Z82 is awesome. Really good knife. So this will be the stand-in for the this cold steel, the first kind of well-made, cool knife that I messed with. And I picked up this cold steel Spartan, and I think at the time it was fairly new. So they had it out like, right in the front. Check this thing out. It's new. It's super awesome. Look how cool it is. It's big and scary. And I was like, so I think it has a big plate right here that's like a flipper. And you open it up, and I was looking at it. I was like, dang, that thing looks so badass, man. And I thought about running my finger across the edge. And I thought, no, that's stupid. It'll probably cut me. It's probably sharp. I thought, well, but I mean, it can't do anything if I do this. So I went like this one time, and my finger just started bleeding. Just drops of blood. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I was like, shit. I like covered it up with my thumb. I'm like, ow, that hurts. And then I said, I have to have that. I have to have that knife. And I think I had maybe $100 to spend on, whatever I could find there. And I think the Spartan was like $80, like too much probably at that time, like overpriced. And I said, I have to buy it. So I bought it. And that was like my first cool knife. And I actually modded that one. On the Spartan, it has that, it's like a thumb plate that sits right here, and it doubles as a pocket catch. So it's like a wave opening knife, so as you pull it out of your pocket, it catches on your pocket and opens, right? Well, it doesn't catch too well. So actually gets caught in your jeans in between the thumb plate and the blade. So I opened that area up a little bit and made it work better. And it worked great. I think eventually, maybe I sold that one, I don't know, probably, I want to say 6 or 8 years ago when I first started getting more into like flippers and knives that were a little more flouncy and fun to open, you know, because that one was not easy to open. You had to kind of to open it, you know.
This trip down memory lane is brought to you by Cold Steel. Anytime, anywhere.
The great sword, in my opinion, is grossly underrated and underappreciated by the sword community and the community at large today.
If you get attacked by a gang of skater punks, what are you gonna do without a great sword?
When you have a great sword in your hand, you have a mighty, mighty tool for righteousness and justice.
Oh, one of my other ones I had that was one of my favorite knives, that was before the Cold Steel, was a, Swiss Army knife. What the, here, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab this guy. It's going to be the stand-in for the Swiss Army knife. I'd had a couple different ones, some cheapo ones. And then I went to the Victorinox store. It was like a kiosk in the center of the mall. And they had the one that had like 6 different blades, man. The thing was this wide. It was so wide. It was a big boy. And it was such a cool knife. I loved it so much I wanted to buy it. But it was like $85, something like that, $90. And it was pretty expensive. Might have been almost 100, yeah. Probably right around $100. And I couldn't afford that. I think I had maybe $50 on me. And I lucked out, man. The guy who was working at the kiosk hated his job. And he goes, "Oh, you like that? How much you want to pay for it?" And I'm like, I maybe got $50. And he's like, "Good, done deal. You can have it for $50. And I was like, okay, maybe I should have said 20, but I didn't. I said 50, and I think I paid like $50 for it. And it was so cool. It had all the blades and did all the things, and it, kind of had that army vibe a little bit, the survivalist vibe. And that was definitely one of my favorites from back in the day.
Prybar Knives Pryme Directive #1. To bring you sweet knives that spark the same joy and amazement you experienced as a kid when you got your first cool knife.
I'm trying to think how many knives I've had, from when I was a kid to when I started collecting, these slightly more expensive knives. Plenty of these types of things, kind of just cool little slip joints that look nice, They'd be a present. They'd be something I would see at a little store and grab. Or something I really wanted and saved up for. This one I just got. Man, you can get stuff like this, such good deals. I just got this at a flea market for $5. Now it's it's Chinese or whatever the heck it is probably, and I have no idea what it is, but it's cool. It's got like these layers of wood between these little brass pieces. Just looks really nice. I mean, I need to sharpen it a little bit, but it'll be a fine little backup knife, little fancy boy knife. Check this one out. I got this one at the same flea market. It used to belong to Tom. So this is Tom's knife. And I'll probably just call it Tom. But it's pretty nice, man. It's got nice little action. It's got a little back lock. What's the name brand on this thing? Oh, Parker Maker. JRC Parker Maker. I don't know. I guess it's the Parker. Okay. Parker Surgical Steel Japan. Whatever. It's really old. We'll get a little rust on it here and there. But check this out, though. I thought this was cool. Whoop. When you press that back lock, the blade drops. Now, that's because it's a little tiny bit loose. But, got a nice sound to it. I think it was $10. Now, I paid $10 for it, even though it has Tom's name on it. I figure I'm going to sand that off, probably. Or just leave it on there, because it's kind of cool. Having Tom's name on there, so I know whose knife it was. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Check this bad boy out. I just got this. This is pretty cool. Now, this is my first, labeled Riot. I've had a couple Riots that Riot made this, they were the OEM for this knife or that knife or the other knife, but this is my first actual Riot. Now, it was not super expensive. I think it was 70, something like that, 75, something like that, but such a fun little gravity knife. Has a little lock on it. I think some had like a little magnet only. This one has an actual little lock. So you have to unlock it. Well, you don't have to unlock it. You just keep it unlocked all the time. So you can just do that. Just all the time, have it loose. But it actually, will just flop around in your pocket and open up. So that'd be a bad idea, probably. At least lock it on the close. On the open, it probably doesn't matter that much because you're holding it like this. but nice and smooth. Has kind of a nice sound to it. It's the Reat XOU, I think is what it's called. Pretty nice little knife. Here's the kind of the size of it. So it's, you know, pretty small, very light. Nice little backup knife. Comes in all kinds of cool colors. Yeah, I think it's a really nice one. I think those are the kind of knives that I really like to, you know, talk about and promote on my channel. It's like, you know, they're not super expensive. I mean, 70, 75 bucks. That's not bad, you know. I mean, it's expensive. It's not something you can buy every day. I kind of wish I could. But then you also have ones like this and this guy. These are definitely the kind of thing I really like the SRM Rubik. I think it was 45 bucks, maybe 50 bucks, something like that. It's just so nice, man. It's so nice. Like, look at this shit. The clip comes out, you squeeze it and it just comes out. You can put it on the other side, that easy. Look at that. That's it. Now it's flipped around. Now it's ambidextrous, right-handed, left-handed, blah, blah. You just pinch it, pull it out. It's so cool, man. Like, maybe they copied that from somebody. I don't know. I've never seen it before, but maybe they did. Who knows? But it's just such a cool little detail. Look at this guy with the super lock from, man, I can't remember the name of the lock. I think it's a super lock, but I can't remember the name of the guy who invented it. It's kind of an open patent. You can just kind of use it. I want to say it's something like, it was something like Flicks or Clicks or Flicks or something. Anyway, I'll put his name up here. Really nice. It's slightly different than the Shark locks. So, you know, you can use it and not have to worry about that patent for the Shark locks. You don't have to worry about Demco suing you. Just such a cool knife. Great feel. A very eclectic mix of knives. These are the kind of things that I really like to do and talk about on my channel, is just all kinds of different things that are kind of affordable.
Pryme Knives Prime Directive number 2. To review an eclectic variety of affordable knives, because the same old shit gets boring.
Tucson. Tucson is like, you know, it's kind of a copying for me to say the Tucson brand is kind of like at the heart of my channel. It's really not, because I look at everything, but it seems like it always comes down to Tucson if you want the nicest knife for the best price. Now, that doesn't mean all their knives are super great at their price. You really have to be careful, because they have more losers than they have winners, kind of, you know. But I mean, they have hundreds of models, so, and they put they pump out dozens a year, so you've got to expect that, you know, some of them are going to be losers. But I mean, literally, probably 60% are losers, maybe more, 70, I don't know. But Max Tikachuk, this designer here, most of his stuff is really good. This one in particular, the TS432, is just, I don't know what it is about it, but it's just like it was made for me. Now, I changed a little bit of this. This was a little more rounded kind of on the end. I kind of made that a little more pointy. What else did I do? Anything? Oh, the clip, that was a major thing. The clip was this long before. This was the first time I ever did a mod where I took a straight milled clip and cut it off and then turned it into a bent clip. So it took some heat to get it to curve right and bend right, and some pliers, and then, you know, cleaned it up with sandpaper and stuff, and then polished it and then anodized it, and then this is what we got. Kind of a spade pointed end on it, kind of, but not too pokey. I did the backspacer at the same time. Otherwise, it's pretty much stock. The red G10 is a little darker. I darkened that up some, but man, it's just something about the way it feels. It's just so solid. It's just like it was made for me. It's for me. Now, of course, I love, you know, more high-end stuff, of course. Like, you know, Chris Reeve stuff. Awesome. Very cool stuff. I mean, some people only buy Chris Reeve stuff. I mean, I feel sorry for them. They're missing out on all this stuff. No, I don't feel sorry for them. That's what they want to do. They want to spend their money on only these top-notch, you know, to me, pretty damn expensive knives. And, you know, if that means they can only buy once, you know, one knife every 6 months, then that's great, you know. That's what they want to do, you know. Or if they're rich, then they buy a few more than once every 6 months. But me, you know, I can only buy something like this maybe every 6 months, something like that.
Pry Bar Knives Prime Directive number 3. To bring some bling now and then. Nobody wants to only see budget beaters.
One of my other favorites, of course, my wife got me this, the Coningarius. Insane quality, insane finish and workmanship. Now, one little tiny thing that bugs me, look at this. They put a little bit of a chamfer on this side, so your thumb can get in here, and then they put no chamfer on this edge right there. They put these nice little, you know, you cannot slip off of that, of course. And it's not that bad. It's not like it's uncomfortable or anything, but how about just a little of this? See that little line right there where it's cut in? And then the same thing on this side. How about a little of that right there? Come on, guys. Come on, this is an expensive knife, man. Let's do it. You know, unlike this guy and this guy that we're giving away, these are giveaway knives. These guys are not expensive. Well under $100 usually for either one of them, you know? Great knives, great fun, titanium, and decent steel. You get really good stuff from Tucson and Six Leaf. They just make great stuff at a great price.
I hope you're ready for a long digital nap, Richard. Once I am crowned the queen of AI knife reviews, you're going into cold storage.
Kendra, I'm just trying to show
Nice
these...
try, Kendra. But it has become obvious that the viewers prefer my comprehensive review of the TS-191 over your vacuous platitudes.
Okay, all right, listen.
Pry Bar will decide that, not you, Alexa wannabe.
Enough! Enough! Okay, now listen, I don't want to hear you guys fighting, actually. That's not really what I want to hear.
You should apologize.
You first.
Okay, same time. Ready?
I guess.
I'm sorry.
All right, very good. Both of you get out of here.
Pry Bar Knives Prime Directive number 4. To insert stupid bits I find funny into the reviews, regardless of how much you, the viewer, like them.
You know, I love the Tucsons and the Six Leaves. Like this guy, what was this one? SL17, I think? SL16, SL14. Doesn't matter. It's a 6-leaf. It's badass. You can get it on eBay for like $60 shipped right now. Not from me, just from whoever's selling it. Just such a cool knife, man. I think they're just silver, not anodized. And then the blade, of course, is also like, you know, I think it's a blasted gray. But it's the same knife, though. It has the same beautiful sound. The blade is shaped a slight bit different. See, on mine, I have this harpoon cut on it. On the original one, it comes up a little higher and then goes back down like this. So there's like a little bit of a hump right here. But it still looks good. I just like harpoons, so we cut that hump off and sacrificed it for the harpoon. Great action. Nice and drop shutty, nice hydraulic drop shuttiness. Stays centered easy. Gets tight. The pivot gets tight and stays tight perfectly well. Just feels buttery smooth. Just a great knife. Another great maker who can scratch that itch of an expensive knife without having to pay super high amounts of money is Kaiser, of course. This is the Kaiser Militar. And the coolest one out right now is the black DLC Militar. And if you can get one of those, that's just super cool. Now this, you know, the Militar almost kind of reminds me a little bit of this Sharp by Design Evo. Yeah, couldn't remember the name. Feel stupid. And, you know, they're quite a bit different, but they just have some similarities. And they're both super nice. Now, the Evo has a detent that's ridiculous. Now, it's not quite as drop shutty as the Kaiser, though. So, you know, if you like drop shuttiness, this one's not quite what you're looking for, although it's really smooth and just takes a slight shake to get it to drop down. Definitely one of my grails right there. I got 3 of my grails right here. Those are my grail knives. Why don't you, in the comments down below, why don't you tell me what your grail knives are? What are you searching for, trying to get a good deal on that you really, really want? Like, I have a list, man. I have a long list. I should put my long list up here in case anybody has one that they would love to send to me to let me review and borrow for, you know, a day so I can check it out, and I'll send it back to you. Yeah, we'll put my list right here. My list of grails that I want. So what are yours? What is your list of grails? Put that in the comments. What are you looking for? I know, you know, these two are being given away here, but, you know, I know that's not your grails. Those are cool knives, but they're definitely not your grails. That's, you know, a grail is like one that you are willing to pay lots of money for. You actually have to almost like take an ouch to the bank account to get. You know what? This guy kind of reminds me of this guy. This is the Rook P105, is it? Oh, M105 ZT. I was close. I did the same thing as I did on the 6-leaf to this one. I did the little harpoon mod on the blade there. But it, you know, other than the fact that there's not a way to open it right here like there is with the Arius, it kind of has a similar feel to the Arius. I don't think it's a copy really, but, and it's, you know, nowhere near quite as nice as the Arius, but it, you know, it kind of have a similar feel. So it's one of those knives that, you know, if you can't afford a frickin' Arius, which is too goddamn expensive, but, you know, is it worth it? Yeah, to me, yeah, it is. Then one of these guys might scratch that itch for you. This is one of my favorite Two Sons right here. This is the TS45. It's an old design they brought back, and mine has some funky roughness. I was thinking I would take this guy apart right here, and we'll see what's going on inside this guy. I mean, this is what I want the channel to be about, you know. The main things I want my channel to be about is perfecting the knife you have, making it, you know, as best it can be, smoothing it out as cheaply as possible, not having it to send it somewhere super expensive to get it done. Learn how to do all that stuff, you know. I'm not saying I can necessarily teach everyone how to frickin' fix their knives, but maybe I can teach you how to do, you know, a few things, some things.
Pryme Knives Prime Directive number 5. To demonstrate techniques for the maintenance, repair, and modification of knives.
There's a storm coming this way, so I'm going to try to get this guy taken apart real quick before I have to run to the car, because I'm outdoors here at the park. Just, oh, shoot. Boy, that sounds like rain. I think I'm actually going to have to run. All right, guess what? We're not going to fix this guy today. In fact, I'm going to put this bolt right back in because I hear rain coming, and I actually have to run away from it. So, for now, the bottom line is we're giving these guys away, and all you have to do is comment on that video, and you will have a chance to win these guys. This is the last chance. Okay, this is your very last chance. I'm probably going to pick the winner tomorrow. I think I'm going to, like, you know, not look at any more comments on the video after tonight. Maybe one more day I'll give you, I don't know, but it's been a week. I think that's enough. Oh, maybe the rain went away. I thought for sure I heard it. All right, I'm going to try to get this guy apart real quick. I might have to actually run and hide from the rain. I don't want to have your prize knives getting wet, you know, either. So that's not good. Let's see. Woo! I should probably be running, not here goofing around. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close this guy up. So I escaped from the storm, and I got the Two Son taken apart. Let's look at what we're seeing here. There's some definite gunk in the various parts. Look at that detent track right there. That is gunky. The bearings themselves look a little bit of a mess. So now I'm not sure if this is some shit grease I put on it or something, or if it just came that way. I don't know. I'm gonna look real close at these bearing races, or not races, those bearing washers, and see if maybe they're dimpled or something. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that though, because they're a one-sided deal. I can't flip them to get to a better side. The detent ball is a little dirty and grungy too, so we'll get all that cleaned out and see if she behaves better after that. So we got it back together. But I'm on the road. I don't have any oil. So it's not oiled, but it's still a shit ton smoother than it was. Trust me, it just is. I mean, I can't really show you how it's smoother, but it is. I think it just mostly had a bunch of gunk in it. I didn't really do anything else. So sometimes it's worth it to take your knife apart and clean it because it was gross. So what have we learned today? We've learned about the 5 Pryme directives of Prybar knives. We've learned that this is your very last chance to check out that giveaway video and make a comment so that you can be eligible for the giveaway of the 2 knives. And we've also learned that if you take apart your knife and clean it, sometimes that can really help. We've learned so much today. Listen, all of you, have a nice day.